Sister Wives David makes Cody Brown save final last curls? Is Sister Wives star Cody Brown saving his final curls due to his ex-wife, Cristin Brown Woolley's new husband, David Woolley? Cristin was adamant that her next man after Cody would have tattoos, ride a motorcycle, and be bald. These are traits that David possesses and she loves. Yet, what does David have to do with Cody's hair? Keep reading for further details. David makes Cody Brown save final last curls. When Cristin Brown Woolley told Cody Brown she was leaving him, she was also leaving Flagstaff. She shared that she and their youngest daughter truly were headed to Utah. This was a huge deal, and Cody tried to sway them not to go there. He claimed that the men in Utah would be so against polygamy that the moment they learned who Cristin was and her past, they would use and abuse her. She did not care and took her chances, being very clear as to what she wanted. The man she was looking for was the complete opposite of Cody, as she wanted a man who rode a motorcycle, had tattoos, and was bald. Cody is known to hold on to the hair he has left. Recently, David and Cristin did an interview where he was asked what advice he would give to Cody. He shared he would tell him to get rid of the hair. However, Sister Wives fans do not think that Cody could go for a drastic shave at this point, and for good reason. If he were to alter his appearance like that, they believe he would get compared to David. A Reddit thread was started to share why Cody will keep his curls. The OP made a list and started with Cody Brown being compared to David Woolley. They then added Cody could no longer have the ponytail option, which Janelle Brown loved. Then there's Roby Brown and how she taught him how to do the perfect curls. All of the hair product, blow dryers, and hairnets. Wait STD. Finally, what would Cody do with all of his free time if he was not doing his hair? Can't be like David. Sister Wives fans immediately felt that Cody Brown could never shave his head now solely because of David Woolley. Even if it was the best option, he has to differentiate himself from the new husband. I was genuinely just thinking that likely David being bald has almost encouraged him to keep the few noodles he does have so he can have what David doesn't. I don't think Cody could grow a beard as thick or long as David's, and that would be the only hair he'd have left to compete with, too. I think Robin just likes the 6 hours of alone time while he plays with his hair. She keeps adding steps to the method so he's busy longer. At this point, Cody is losing hair by the season and may just have to accept his fate or get plugs, as one Redditor mentioned. Yet, it does not seem he will be buzzing anytime soon. Cristin Brown stood in the kitchen of her new home in Utah, sunlight streaming through the windows as she prepared a cup of tea. A faint smile danced on her lips as she glanced at the photograph on the counter. Her and David Woolley at the Grand Canyon, laughing. Life was finally as simple and joyful as she'd always dreamed. The days of placating Cody's volatile moods were over. But even in her newfound bliss, Cody Brown still found ways to infiltrate her peace, this time through a bizarre request relayed by none other than David. David Woolley strode into the room, his usual easy demeanor tinged with an unusual nervousness. He cleared his throat, drawing Cristin's attention. "Cristin," he began, his voice hesitant, "I've got something strange to tell you." Cristin raised an eyebrow, her tea forgotten. "Strange? With Cody, I've learned to expect it." "What now?" David rubbed the back of his neck. "He wants me to ask you for something." She crossed her arms, skeptical. "What does Cody possibly think he can ask me for now?" David hesitated, clearly searching for the right words. "He wants you to save his curls." Cristin blinked. "His curls?" David nodded solemnly. "Apparently, he's been cutting them off and saving them in a box. He says they represent his final days of virility, and he's asking me to make sure you're the one to hold onto them. He said you'd understand their significance." Cristin let out a sharp laugh, the absurdity too much to contain. "His virility? Oh, please. I spent years of my life listening to Cody's speeches about his golden locks and how they were a gift from the heavens. But why on earth does he think I would want them?" David shrugged, though amusement flickered in his eyes. "Honestly, Cristin, I think he's just spiraling. He knows he's losing control of everyone, and this is his way of staying in your orbit." Cristin shook her head, incredulous. "So, let me get this straight. Cody wants me to become the guardian of his hair. Is this some new form of his martyr complex?" David chuckled, stepping closer to wrap an arm around her shoulders. "I told him it wasn't my place to force anything, but I said I'd at least mention it. Now that I have, we can let it go, right?" But Cristin couldn't let it go, not yet. The sheer absurdity of Cody's request gnawed at her curiosity. Why would he entrust her, of all people, with such a bizarre keepsake? She picked up her phone and fired off a text to Janelle. Cristin, you won't believe this. Cody's trying to get me to save his curls. Thoughts? Janelle's reply came almost instantly. Janelle, OMG, he's lost it. Run while you can. Cristin burst out laughing, the sound echoing through the kitchen. She looked up at David, still shaking her head. He's officially lost his mind. Meanwhile, in Flagstaff, Cody paced the living room of Robin's home, clutching a small wooden box. Inside, the remnants of his once flowing curls sat coiled like relics of a bygone era. Robin watched him from the couch, her expression a mix of pity and exasperation. Cody, are you sure this is the right move? She asked carefully. Cody stopped pacing, his face flushed with frustration. I don't expect you to understand, Robin. This is about legacy. My hair has always been a symbol of my strength, my individuality. Cristin cared about that once. She'll understand. Robin bit her lip. But does she want to? She's moved on, Cody. She's happy with David. Why drag her back into this? Cody ignored her, gripping the box tighter. Cristin was my spiritual wife for decades. She knows the real me. David doesn't. If anyone's going to protect what's left of my essence, it's her. Robin sighed, realizing there was no talking him out of it. Cody was clinging to the one thing he could still control, even if it was just a collection of hair. Later that week, Cody made the trek to Utah himself, unable to leave this matter in David's hands. He had arrived at Cristin's door with the box tucked under his arm, his face a mix of determination and vulnerability. Cristin opened the door, her eyes widening at the sight of him. Cody? What are you doing here? I need you to come in person, he said, holding up the box. This isn't something I could leave to chance. Cristin stared at the box, her curiosity piqued despite herself. She stepped aside, letting him in. Once inside, Cody placed the box carefully on the table, as if it held something sacred. Cristin, he began, his voice almost pleading, these curls represent the man I was, the man we built a family with. I can't let them sit in a drawer somewhere. They need to be with someone who understands their significance. Cristin folded her arms, her expression unreadable. And you think that someone is me? Yes, Cody said emphatically. You were always the one who truly got me. Even when things were hard, you saw the real me. These curls are a part of our history. Cristin stared at him for a long moment, the weight of his words sinking in. Finally, she let out a sigh. Cody, I spent years being the keeper of your emotions, your insecurities, and your dreams. I don't need to be the keeper of your hair. But, she held up a hand, cutting him off. No, this is your journey, not mine. If those curls mean so much to you, keep them yourself. Or, better yet, let them go. You're not defined by your hair, Cody. You're defined by the choices you make now. Cody looked down at the box, his shoulders slumping. For the first time, he seemed to realize the absurdity of his request. Cristin walked over and gently placed a hand on his arm. It's time to move on, Cody, for both of us. Cody nodded slowly, picking up the box and turning toward the door. As he left, he glanced back at Cristin one last time. Thank you, Cristin, for everything. She watched him go, a strange sense of closure washing over her. Turning back to David, who had been eavesdropping from the other room, she gave him a wry smile. Well, that's a chapter I never thought would end with hair. David laughed, pulling her into a hug. At least now we know Cody's finally cutting ties, one curl at a time. And with that, Cristin and David moved forward, leaving Cody and his curls in the past where they belonged.